In 1993, we got Doom. In 1995, we got Ultimate Doom, which added a 4th episode. And now, in 2019, we have a 5th episode, Sigil, straight from John Romero and now available to the general public, either by way of a free download or a purchase, which includes the soundtrack from Buckethead. Thanks to the release of Doom's source code many years ago, we have many ports that allow us to play the game on modern hardware. I'm using GZ Doom under Windows 10 in the footage you see here. It was pretty easy to get Sigil up and running. I downloaded the WAD files from Romero Games, dropped sigil.wad on the GZ Doom executable, and that was it, up and running. You'll notice the 5th episode, Sigil, now appears in the episode selection screen, complete with bleeding letters. This is certainly a much more convenient way to play Doom versus attempting to run it on old hardware, but there was something that struck me when reading the FAQ on Romero's website. He said he, quote, wanted the levels to feel like they belonged to the original game, as if they were a true 5th episode. As a guy that enjoys building retro PCs, I actually wanted my first experience of Sigil to happen under MS-DOS. Not in DOSBox, but in a box running DOS, on a CRT, with a MIDI module, and a ball mouse. And with that, there is one small problem. Sigil requires a limit-removing port of Doom. I'll briefly explain. The original Doom had various static limitations, such as not allowing more than 128 sprites on the screen at one time. After the source code for Doom was released in the late 90s, programmers started working on their own ports, something that continues to this day. Many modifications have been made, including the removal of the various limits, or at least increasing them substantially versus the original release. A release that asked for at least a 386 with 4 megabytes of RAM, which, in my opinion, was just as hilarious in 1993 as it is right now. Sigil requires a source port that has had these limits removed. GZ Doom supports this, but we need a limit-removed port that runs under MS-DOS. Enter Boom. Boom is a source port that was created to fix bugs, remove limitations, and add a few features while not straying from the original look and feel of Doom. The final version was released on October 22, 1998, so even the port itself arguably fits inside of a DOS timeline. It is possible that there are other ports with a DOS executable, but I'm using Boom. My target machine is a Pentium 200 with 24 megabytes of RAM. Let me show you a few things using DOSBox, as it is easier to capture footage this way. First, the Sigil archive available from Romero Games comes with 2 WAD files, sigil.wad and sigil_compat.wad. We'll need to use the compat WAD file, and I renamed mine sigilc.wad for DOS convenience. If we run Doom 1.9 under DOS and attempt to load sigil.wad, the episode doesn't show up because additional episodes beyond 4 are not supported. If we then run Doom 1.9 and feed it sigilc.wad, episode 3 is replaced with Sigil. We can start the episode, except it crashes with an error. Visplanes is one of the limits present in the original Doom. So we turn our eyes toward Boom. Boom is available from doomworld.com. I will leave a link in the description. After downloading it, unarchive it and dump it into your Doom 1.9 directory. With Boom in the directory, run asetup.exe. This is the audio setup. There is an auto configuration option available and you can test your settings. If you are running a real DOS machine, I assume you know all about IRQs, addresses, and more. I'm not going to walk you through this. I will mention a couple of things though. I run a Sound Blaster AWE64 Gold in my machine for digital audio, and I noticed the stereo was reversed, so I checked this pan box. Just be aware that you may need to do that for your machine. There is a text file named snd-drvr that came with Boom. You can consult it for further details. It recommends copying 2 settings from the allegro.cfg file to the boom.cfg file and spells it out quite well. Be aware of this if auto-detect is causing you some trouble. Okay, let's run Boom. You may want to mess with some of the settings in Boom first. I will talk you through what I did. You can step through the 5 levels of gamma correction with the F11 key, just like in the original Doom. I play on a CRT at night and I prefer it dark. Alright, Options menu, Setup. For key bindings, I did the usual WASD configuration for forward, back, etc. Customize it to your heart's content. You may have noticed that the status bar uses different colors. The preference is yours. I wanted it to look like original Doom, so I toggled Use Red Numbers to Yes. If you look down beneath that, there is a Hide Secrets option. I'll tell you about this in case you are interested. Just like Doom, Boom can have the window viewport adjusted in size by using minus to make it smaller and plus to make it larger. If you max it out, the HUD disappears. From here, you can press the plus again to get a minimal HUD in the bottom left. You can see that it has kills, items, and secrets stats at the top. You can hide this using the Hide Secrets option. I mentioned this in case you wanted to make use of this HUD feature but didn't want to know what you were up against or what you haven't found yet in Sigil. Okay, that should pretty much take care of the settings I wanted to cover, so let's exit and run Boom with Sigil. No dash file option is needed as a parameter. Just type Boom, a space, and then the name of the Sigil compatibility WOD, sigilc.wad in my case. And that's it. I've played through the first 4 levels of Sigil on my machine using Boom and haven't had any crashes or freezes so far. I hope this video helps any of you looking to run Boom on your retro PC. I'd like to thank the team that made Sigil possible, and I'll leave you with some footage of the first level running under Boom on a real machine at 320 by 200 on a CRT. Enjoy.